Welcome everyone to Beskidy. We are back on this beautiful map right next to Gramps. We're gonna head out to work and let's just tab on out there. I've done a lot of work off cam. Oh yeah, we don't need this, like I say. And here I am already at the last field. When I say last field, there's a field in here. I don't know if I've shown any of this on camera before, but it's this one here I opted to do. I've done 7 or 8 meadows. Maybe I could even just count them on here to see. This doesn't quite, well, I guess it's all the blue blob areas. So there was this one here that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This maybe is 2. There's kind of a little bit of river that runs through here. A 5th up here. I did a little triangle. 6th. Did this side hill. 7th. 8th. This one of the larger areas. And then 9th down over here. I think we're parked right here by field number 38. So I have baled and hauled all of the bales here. And I think the rest of the areas I finished baling, most of which, was done off cam. And this is the only field I have left to bale. And once again, kind of what's running through my mind is these are free grass areas, which is kind of what we had available to us in Farm Sim 13, versus owning a field and not being able to do anything with it unless you owned it. These are all free areas, and I just figure the local authorities or whoever owns them is letting us cut it, and if we take the grass away, that's the price of getting it cut for them on their behalf. They just wanted it to be a little nicer. So we're kind of into our 9th field, but honestly, I have a ton of bales just sitting out here high and dry. I don't know what the weather, well, the weather is sunny, so we're probably okay, but I kind of am thinking that maybe should go pick some bales up, maybe do that at this episode. One of the things I was looking for here, though, is I kind of went into the last field, and I don't think I can do it on these tractors. Now, maybe someone who understands Polish equipment, maybe it just didn't have a front hitch on the Ursus. Well, it's kind of got a little bit of a hitch maybe right here, so you can put on a weight. Although I believe that's built into the model of the tractor. In this case here, it isn't one you can attach and detach. But one of the problems I've been running into with baling on here, particularly with these little bales, is I keep running over the silly things. And, when I take a strip kind of around the outer edge, I have this one here goes off, and then this end one kind of comes on around. It takes 2 passes. I'll go one way, one direction, and make bales, come back the other way to kind of clear those up. But then I have bales sitting all over. Now, I suppose I could do these lines in the field first and then do the outer edges. Maybe something like that would work. But then I know I'd have to be careful that when I got to the end of the rows here and came across this, that I didn't accidentally drop bales, in the material over here, because then I just run into the same trouble. So, and really that's the issue. It'd be nice to have something to push the bales away kind of from the front of the tractor. And I know they have mods out there that do this, bale pushers, a bull bar, or whatever they call those things, some kind of bar right on the front of the tractor that would kind of just shoosh the bales right out of the way. Of course, it'd be nice to have one, that would push it far enough out of the way that it didn't run the risk of going through the baler again. Although, of course, that won't happen in game. So I tried a couple things off camp. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Placeable mods by machine type. Yeah, it's a mod. And which category? Forestry. Oh, I got a money mod in here. Oh, that'd be tempting to use. Give myself 50 mil. How nice. Okay, is it in the miscellaneous? Ah, here it is. So it's called a yard scraper. You know, this was in the days before we had the ability to scrape anything, you know, in game. Oh, it was made by a Millpaul. I know who that is. This fellow was ex-military police. I think that's what Millpaul stands for. Boy, I haven't run into him in a long time. But anyway, I think this one is for a scraper, you know, on a silage heap or to scrape anything on the ground. And of course, it isn't going to be functional or do any of that. But it would work or have the added benefit of being able to push bales out of the way. And so I got it. That's before I came on here. I tried to put it on the front of this tractor, and of course, lo and behold, it has no front hitch. So I'm not able to put anything on there. Sure would love to, though, and wish I knew of a way to do that. So, and you know, I don't know if it's the older style tractors. I almost think, you know, I live in the U.S., and you know, I'm not a farmer. I couldn't tell you just how many tractors out there have the capability of front hitching. But I don't think it's very common here. I think that's more something that I've seen. Not that I've been to Europe, but just pictures and videos that I've seen. That's something more in Europe or the UK. Hasn't been here. So maybe it's that way in Poland too. Maybe it was just the time era of this particular tractor, you know, that they didn't have the ability to put something on the front. But of course it means all that to say that I'm going to be dodging some bales, you know, once I get back into it. So maybe let me hop to another, here we go. Here is our trailer, and you know what? It looks like it just took it upon itself and grabbed several bales out of the field. Yeah, just kind of grabbed them. So we are over here, yeah, in this field here. Home base is, where's home base? Kind of down over here. I think that's home. So we've, okay, I've done more than I thought I did. I guess I've picked up all the bales here. So in those couple fields, this one here's done. Now we're on this one, and then there's another down the road. So, all right, well, enough yakking. Let me get the show on the road. Oh, and speaking of front attachment, this here is very deceiving. It must be a problem with the mod. Here, let me, like, if I unattach it real quick. Okay, the trailer came off, but it puts it in front. I don't, I'd probably have to check the specs of the mod and see why it doesn't show it in the back. Because I don't think this particular tractor here could have a front attachment either. Sure would love to have a bale pusher though. Anyway, as I was saying, let's get this show on the road. We'll start that up. Let's go back to our trailer. Start loading products. Alright. I think we have it. Down into the field we go. Yeah, it's just pulling them out of our way. So actually it's so handy to have this auto loader. You know, and these small bales, what they remind me of is, you know, when I was on the farm growing up, this would be the size of the bales that we had. And this is still the size of the bales. It's not what they use on the farm anymore, but this is still the size of the bales that my father has. You know, when we put up hay kind of around home, I feel blessed to live in the country. I live right next door to my parents, and my dad has, it's maybe 50 acres kind of just in the local area here. Well, now, looks like I missed a little down here in this corner. Oops. There could have been a few more bales. There it's going. Oh, no, it's not going. Is that out full? Oh, one more layer. Yeah, this trailer's starting to pay off finally after all the work that I put into it. But anyway, I live like I say, next door to my folks, and he still puts up hay every year with small bales using some fairly old machinery. And you know what? I think that's all. Let me just pull this open. I think the road... I think it's somewhere up in here. Maybe it's right there. Yeah, I still get turned around on this map. Maybe if I looked at a bigger one, that would help. Not so much. Maybe it's over here. Alright, I'll just head on down the road, and we'll see if we can make it. But I guess what I was starting to say is, we didn't get the ability to really pick up objects, sitting on the map until Farm Sim 17. We just didn't have the capability. Something I've wondered about, but I've never tried, is what if we took the script, the Lewis script in Farm Sim 17 that enabled the player to pick up objects, and what if we adapted it and tried to take it back to Farm Sim 15 or 13? I really don't know how hard that would be. And I don't know if it's multiple scripts, just how embedded it is in all the code, that there's all these other things you need to consider. If it's a single script, it wouldn't be that hard at all. But I don't know, it's something I've wondered about, because we just didn't have that ability here. It would be nice, and I would be willing to do some of it still probably with the auto load feature, to try to pick some of these up by hand. Oh, back up. Let me zip up. Yeah, just that collision camera. Alright, how do I unload these things? Oh, unload. Boom! I wasn't watching my money. Alright, let me slip back just a little bit. There we go. Sweet. Alright, that's one trailer load. If only it was this easy in real life. So I don't know, as I continue playing some of these older versions. Whoa! Bucking Bronco for a tractor. It is something I've periodically wondered about, how hard would it be to take that script and to come in here and be able to pick up some of those bales on the ground. Am I going in the right door? Maybe not. Maybe it's down here. I can't remember. Yeah, this is probably it. Is that getting back out there? There's the road. In Farm Sim 15, there was a mod where you could push objects, and maybe at a certain level that particular script could be adapted. And really, all you gotta do, I say all you gotta do, it's the devil's in the details, as they say, and Lewis scripting and figuring the game out and how to do whatever you want it with it is easier said than done. But in theory, all you need to do is detect the presence of these objects and know where they're at, figure out how to elevate them in the air and follow the player around, kind of at the position where the player's hands would be, and then have certain key bindings where the player can throw or drop a particular object, like a bale in this case. In theory, it doesn't seem all that difficult, but I'm pretty sure it would be. But if we took the starting point at a 17 script, maybe it wouldn't be that hard to adapt it to a version like this, because I think it would be kind of fun to throw a few bales. I think I'd still have the auto load feature on, this particular trailer, so that when you chuck the bale, it would stack itself perfectly. Because given the bale physics, that were in place at this time, well, any of the physics in Farm Sim, I know we have all seen interesting things periodically happen to bales, where they go flying clear across the map for no good reason, and, stuff like that. So, it's hard, in other words, to, and even in Farm Sim 17 it was this way. You know, matter of fact, I've seen someone's video where they did kind of something similar to what I was just suggesting, where they hand-loaded onto a trailer a bunch of bales, but there was, it certainly wasn't a stack, you know, that looked like this. Far from it. It was the biggest jumbled up hodgepodge of a mess you've ever seen. And I forget, the guy was doing a story video, I forget kind of what the excuse was. You know, you just would love it if you could go in there and be able to pack them tight, just like you would in real life. But, I mean, we just can't. It just, even the holding of the object, and even beyond Farm Sim 17. 17 was the first when we saw this, but even in 19 and in 22, I don't think you can stack anything. It's only there to pick something up and drop it or move it. It isn't intended for bale stack. Sure would be fun if you could. Alright, this time I'm going to watch my cash. 43,196. Gosh, this looks so nice in here. You know, usually when I play, I'm in third-person mode. I typically only see the vehicles from behind, which is how a lot of this ends up getting recorded. There's so many other angles. Would be nice to... I need to work on my cinematography, I think. Some guys are really good at that. And maybe what they do is they set up a course play or something to run it while they loop around and see different angles. And you could almost tell when they don't, because here now I'm driving driving backwards and trying to get it to work. Oop, here's where I need to turn in. I'm just thankful this thing is working decent, and you know, you can see there's gapiosis in here. You can see the red of the trailer down there, but you know, that ain't a bad stack. I'll take it. And these bales, you know, the reason there's a little bit of gap is probably because these bales are slightly smaller than the ones that I used when I put it all together. I think it was, when I first started these episodes, I was using a different pack, and I'm wondering if those are just a little bit bigger. Puts me up tight here. Alright, let me get this unloaded. Unload. Okay, 43,000. Boom. Alright, that's about a clean 3,000. Okay. Oh, I forgot about those. That was an interesting sound from backing up. Alright, another load done. We're almost through down here. Probably one more load is going to finish picking up the bales in this. I should come into the editor. Man, look at that. That's climbing a mountain to try to get up on the road. Well, maybe that is how it is in real life. It isn't always smooth getting out to the blacktop off of the county road, so maybe that's what that's intended to simulate. Let me see if I can get back out there doing it in first-person mode. Now look at that. We got our strong arm out there. Our arm is so strong that we merely look at the bales and they get scared that we're going to do something to them, and they just magically hop onto the trailer. That's how strong our arm is. Good old Ursus insignia, kind of on the steering wheel there. I gotta say, there is a certain appeal, like that's looking behind. There is a certain appeal to doing this first person. It's definitely an entirely different perspective. And I've tended to be just a third person player most of the time, because that's kind of what I'm used to. So I don't do this very often, but it does have some, it does look a little bit different. Now, I'm going to Buck like a bronco getting out the road. Okay, here we go. Back to the field. I think once we're cleaned up here... Well, it's kind of hard to even see the bales. B, we'll get them loading. Yeah, the script is working great. You know, the auto-loading scripts were kind of, at least the ones I've encountered, they were rudimentary in this version of the game, and I'm trying to think, maybe someone could comment on it. You know, in previous versions of Farm Sim, were there auto-loading scripts? I know I made one to kind of load logs, and I know there was, you know, machinery based on real-life machinery to, oh, okay, I forgot the field time, to load bales, you know, where the mechanism of the machine would stack it in there. But like we're doing here, just on a good old flatbed, I'm trying to think if Farm Sim 11 or 09 had any auto-loading scripts, and I'm not sure they did. You know, one of the problems of an auto-loading script, and this one here would also be a problem, is the multiplayer aspect of the game. You know, so really, by all rights, it seemed like it should be fairly simple to go back to Farm Sim 09 or 08 and write a script that would auto-load bales, because in those days you didn't have to worry about multiplayer capability. But the problem is when from the client versus server, when one person moves a bale, which is a server asset, the server has to know that it was moved and that it's been affixed in this certain spot. Let me see if I have a field. Nope. And getting all that to work properly, or even to save properly, and get all that reconciled, that's kind of that bit of artwork in the script I don't think happened fully or completely until the days of Farm Sim 15. Aha, gotta go in here. I don't know if I need to back up. Nope, we'll just drive over. I think we're still loading, so... Wow, if only it happened this easily in real life. Look at all these bales just sitting there askew as we come along and pick them up. Kind of heading on down at the water's edge. Very picturesque setting here in Beskidy that we're working. I think we're almost full. Got another layer to add. And we'll be done. Maybe I'll just kind of head back out towards the door, because we are done. There we go. But I gotta say, this is somewhat nostalgic as I do this, you know, with some of the mods provided to me, but I Kanapki's Uranum, good old uranium sandwiches. Oops. I've, you know, manhandled a whole lot of these small bales, you know, whether on the farm or you know, pretty much every summer helping my father out. And so, I mean, this brings lots of memories. It's kind of what I'm familiar with. But, you know, I seem to remember years ago when small bales were handled on my grandfather's farm. In those days, you know, they came out one at a time, just like, you know, we're doing them here. And went out on the ground. Sometimes a couple of us would walk behind the baler or ahead of the truck, more likely, that was picking them up. And we'd accumulate several rows together, you know, so as to make it easier for the truck, you know, to drive around out there and to just consolidate a little bit. That was kind of, when I was really little, that was a job that I had. Didn't do the best at it. I hated it. But then they also had a machine. Where do I head in? Nope, not there. Over here, maybe. They had a machine that would attach to the side of the truck, and it was this conveyor, if you will, that would hook the bales and haul them kind of up and drop them on the bed of the truck. It would basically haul them up right beside the truck. It would go up, and when you first started stacking, it was kind of annoying because it would, be too high. I would take them up high and then drop them basically onto the bed. But as you got further up, it was really handy. Especially when you're working on the topmost part of the load. Let me see. Am I going to get another load out of this? Yeah, probably not. And it was red, as I recall. I probably could look up one on Google or something. Yeah, I think we got the field done. Grow, grass, grow. This is what we're doing as we harvest. Let me see. Oh yeah, we're still blue. We're still growing. That might even be the first stage. So we're gonna have to figure out some other things to do until it's ready to harvest again. But that machine was pretty handy, and I gotta say, in more recent years, helping my father with hay, we don't have anything to get the bales off the ground and onto the trailer. Now we just use a simple, is it single axle or double axle trailer? I almost think it's, I'm just gonna skirt around this L point here. Ah, shoot. You know what? There's no reason driving up there. You know what? I'm just going to hop in here. We'll just sneak through here and get rid of the bales. That's what we're going to do. We'll earn ourselves a little cash. And then we'll head up there with it empty so we aren't... I was thinking of doing whole loads, but there's no need. So when my dad does it, he lays the hay down with a conditioner, where it gets cut, crimped, he lets it dry, typically a day if it's good sun, comes in with a rake, and immediately behind the rake he's pulling the baler, which makes small bales. And I would say the bales are roughly, they're at least 50 pounds a piece. Maybe some get up to 70-ish, I don't know, but I know he tries to keep them 50-ish because he knows we're handling it by hand. So they're just out on the ground, so sometimes we've come in and, like I was describing earlier, we'll accumulate them in a row. My mom typically will drive the pickup, and we'll have a double axle trailer there, flatbed, kind of a flatbed. It has sides on it. And usually we'll put in the bottom row, and we won't touch it, when we go to empty it several times until the last one, because it's just such a pain to jam them in the bottom row. But yeah, bale at a time, and there's nothing to pick them up off the ground. We just do it all by hand. And fortunately, my parents have lots of grandchildren. I have lots of nieces and nephews and that kind of thing. So as they say, many hands make light work, and it's very true when it comes to hay. If it just falls on a couple guys, you get wore out in a hurry. But it duplicates the labor, when you first have to put it on the trailer in the field, and then when you haul it into the barn, have to do it all over again. Although there, in the barn, my dad puts it up in a very traditional looking hay mow. In fact, as most of us know, balers, didn't always exist. So years ago, they would put it up loose, and I assume they did something similar over in Europe, Poland, wherever, so that it isn't just something that we did here. But my dad's barn, it still has the old equipment that they used to put it up into the haymow. It has this big opening up there. You can still see a steel track that is at the apex of the barn roof, kind of on the inside of the haymow, where its track would run back and forth. It's kind of overhangs outside so that you could run that, and then it would have cables, ropes, I'm not sure what all it had to lower something down to the ground where you would pick up, you know, a load of hay, and it would lift all of it loose, and it would carry it up into the haymow, and it would just all sit in there loose. And I don't know, I'd have to research this. Maybe someone knows. Probably someone was up in the haymow. Can you imagine having all that loose hay dumped on you? Probably up there tromping it down because space, you know, would have been at a premium, and trying to make more space by taking anything shoved into the barn and trying to compact it somehow. So he still has the equipment there to do it. We've never really attempted it that way. You know, there's and I'm sure every nation has its own vintage equipment case, you know, where you dig out the old stuff and you see if it still works, and you try to do it the old-fashioned way. I don't know that I've seen anyone who really wants to do it the old way with loose hay. Maybe there's someone out there, but especially where it involves a lot of hand labor, that's pretty... Oop, did I just run over a bale? This is where it'd be nice to have that bale pusher. Alright, I T-boned my trailer. Let's see if I can sneak out this way. There we go. This is probably way too steep. You would never go downhill with a trailer like this. Possibly. I don't know that I would with a small little tractor. But anyway, we are off to market one more time. Selling the hay, selling the hay. But that's kind of how we did it at home. There's just, when we took it up to the barn with the trailer, we had, there was an elevator that would take it from the ground outside up into the open mow, and we'd have several people up in there. Did I lose? Maybe it's up here. I can't hardly remember where I'm. Oh, dang it, I think I got the wrong door. Oh well, I'll follow this road out. I can't talk and chew bubblegum at the same time. So we did use some mechanical things to haul it up into the barn, but, you know, it isn't a huge amount of hay that he puts up. I think he cuts roughly, oh, what is it, 17 acres, 15 acres? So we're not talking a huge, huge amount of hay, all things considered. So we make it work, and we just get ourselves a good workout out of the deal. Alright, well, I think that brings us to the end of this particular recording. Hope everyone's having an awesome day, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for coming along.